Welcome back to Grow Joyfully. It is another overcast day, but here we are. In the spring, it's the 16th of March. Lucy and I are going to go out to the greenhouse and pot up some more seedlings. Come along. It's 1:54 and it's 54 degrees outside, and inside it's about 58. As soon as I step in this greenhouse, I start to feel myself relax because I can smell the soil and see the plants and have all the windows here. Really good for me. The tea of the day is hibiscus and raspberry with ginger and lemon. Cuddles has come out to visit me. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Cuddles. I know she would like to come in, but there would be nothing left standing of my greenhouse plants. Look how tall the icicle tomato is getting. So I think I'll pot up some of those. And maybe a few of the flame orange, although I did some of those. I think maybe old German or pineapple. I've mixed the rest of the potting mix up with the peat moss and with the perlite, and this is all I have left. So I'm going to have to go tomorrow to the farm store and get some more of this great stuff. That is a big expense that you have to make every year with the potting mix, the things that you get to get your seed started, but I think it's really a necessary step in your gardening adventure. I would like to take time and go back and research how our ancestors used to do it without having any of this beautiful potting mix with compost and peat moss and all those things. So if you have any ideas, please comment down below. So right now I'm going to pot up old German and icicle tomatoes. I've potted up some old German tomatoes, and we have probably at least 6 to 8 in this cup left over, and I'm going to put new soil in this and give the ones that are left in here a new start. I was able to pot up a lot of pink oxheart yesterday, and then today I did some old German and some icicle tomatoes. Looks like we've got a bunch of tomatoes germinating back here. There is a red brandywine, pink brandywine, and a black seaman tomato, the giant crimson triple crop, more pink oxheart. We have gold medal, granny cantrell, black beauty, and there's the chocolate sprinkled parent, and all sorts of lovelies. More Cherokee purple, flame orange, Dr. White cheese. I'm going to have so many more to transplant, but that is a joy and not a hardship. I did another count of how many tomato varieties I've planted this year. Can anybody guess? I'll ask you now and have you make guesses down in the comment section, and I will tell you on the next video. So guess away. How are you doing with your gardening? Some people, like Natalie from Find Joy in the Journey, and Miss Gail from Georgia Peachnut, are already out in their gardens and planting a lot of things. I think that's really great. But we're only in zone 6A, and we can't plant out here till about mid-May or longer. So until then, I just enjoy planting my little seeds, potting up the seedlings, keeping them all as happy as I can, making sure they have enough water, but not too much, and feeding them every now and then with the yeast fertilizer, and everything seems to be doing pretty well. This is the next day. It's Monday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I wanted to be able to put these two videos together because they're both very short, so I hope you will enjoy it. As you can see, the sky is still very overcast, and it's really quite cool out here. It's 11 minutes after 11, and it's only 45 degrees. So I'm going to be doing more potting up in here today, and I just thought I would take you along with me and show you my sweet peas. They're coming along. We still have not prepared the ground for the green peas, and we need to get to that. But this weekend we went down to the nursery together as a family, and we got some things, and then we came home and we worked. So, but that's one thing that we never did get to. The weather was kind of rainy and not very hospitable, so we just worked here in the greenhouse. Since yesterday, I have potted up kohlrabi and flame orange, and now I'm going to focus on some pineapple tomato seedlings. Take a look at the gazante, how big and healthy. There's still 2 months before I can even plant it out. But things are growing. Look at the 42-day tomatoes there. Everything's hanging in there. It's quite a balancing act to try to get your seedlings germinated, growing healthy and strong, and big enough to put out in your garden. Because we are a colder zone here, Zone 6A, I like to have my tomato plants as big as possible when I put them out in the garden. Once you do put them out in the garden in the ground, they kind of go through a transition period where they're trying to get used to their new environment, and they get a little stunted just for a little while till they catch on and start liking the place that they are planted. So I often don't get most of my big beefsteak indeterminates until late August, beginning of September. Some of the other ones that take less time, I might start getting it at the end of July. So it's a real balancing act to try to figure out when to plant your seedlings and to keep them healthy and strong, and yet not let them get too big or leggy or unhappy in any way, especially since I do so many at a time. It really becomes a challenge. Let's just say a challenge. So right now I'm potting up pineapple tomatoes, and they are a fabulous, fabulous beefsteak indeterminate yellow tomato with pink and red streaking. So I highly recommend them. So you see how many's in this cup. Now you have to times that times 73 varieties. I know, it's like I've lost my mind, but it's okay. We probably plant at least 120 tomato plants each year, and then we sell some down at the farm stand. And I think we'll be able to manage the amount that I have here. And again, if they don't get used, if they don't get sold, then you can just put them in the compost, and you're not wasting anything. You're putting it back into the soil and enriching the soil and having good compost, and you can use it again for next year. So this is a pineapple. And there you go. That way you don't have to use too many plant labels. Today's herbal tea was peach and lemon. There's one tag I saved from last year, so I will just write over this again to make it stronger and then put the correct date on. So there you go, good as new. So this is the date that they were potted up from. That's the first time that they were planted. That is when they first germinated. When they got a little bigger and they were crowding the cup, I moved them over here. So that's that date. And then this is the date when I potted them up currently, and stick that in this pot right here. It's just for me, for my records, for me in my mind, so that I can say, okay, I planted these on the 19th of January, and it's taking them this long to get this far. Once we get them out of the cup like this, where they are kind of crowded, then they really start putting on some growth. That's why I'm trying so hard to get them out of these pots. I kind of have a little bit of a timeline, and I'm trying hard to stick to that. I've ordered some more trays, and they're supposed to be here between 11:30 and 12:45, but we know how that goes. But I might just pop over and wash up some more cups in the garage sink and then check and see if they're here by now. I took a break and had some lunch and cleaned up 6 dozen eggs and took them out to the farm stand to sell them. So we'll see if they sell. I really want to get the Amana Orange repotted today. They do not look happy at all, and they're one of the first ones that I planted this year. So let's get them potted up and see how they feel. I have made a lot of progress today. I have potted up San Marzanos, triple crops, some Bibb lettuce, some cabbages. Look up here from this vantage point. Take a look at all the seedlings down there that I have transplanted, and all across there, and all across there, plus this shelf, and these shelves, and those over there, and there's the kohlrabi over there. And these are for my daughter. I'm taking up so much room already. But I've had a really good, productive day, and I hope you have too. I've been sitting in here for hours listening to my favorite YouTube friends, and I want to give a shout out to Renee's Secret Garden. She cooks things, and she takes a walk, and she talks, and she's very knowledgeable and very upbeat and very positive. And I recommend you go see her channel at Renee's Secret Garden. So I hope you all have a really lovely day. Take care of yourself. I'm going to go put dinner on. Yeah, it's that late. And then once it's in the oven, I'm going to come back here and do some more work until dark. So have a really good day. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next video.